How's it going? How's it going? It's Pro Moat Black here. Starting this YouTube page. Happy to be here. Heard a lot of good things. Figured, hey, got something I want to share with the world. But first and foremost, I wanted to say shout out to Dr. Claude Anderson. Shout out to this book. This book has empowered me quite a bit. All the people you inspired me, and they led me back to you. Shout out to you, brother, Dr. Claude Anderson. All right, man. With that being said, so yeah, came here with my family 2021, right after the pandemic. Found some cheap land, 5 acres out here in Colorado. So decided to move my family out here and get started. Started small in the RV. Wanted to go the off-grid route, homestead route. Just wanted to develop something that could be passed on for generational wealth to my family. I have my daughter, my twins, and thank God I just had another one. So, you know, family growing, got to go forth and multiply. But as far as off grid homestead, I just wanted to live in a situation where I didn't have to worry about eviction, didn't have to always worry about rent, didn't have to always worry about a bill following me being on my back. So they just really inspired me to, look for an alternative living. So I've heard about van life, I've heard about tiny homes, and was inspired by a lot of those things. But, hey, when you find the space, why not utilize it? So we moved here, stayed here in an RV for the first year. And I'm not gonna lie, that first year was, a little dicey, but luckily I just had my daughter. It was me, my wife, and my daughter. So we were hanging out, doing what we could with the land, um, scoping it out, trying to figure out what our plans were gonna be. Thankfully God moved in a way that we were also able to later get into a home. So now I have a home on my land. But that may make you ask, well, how are you getting by? So on the survival front, we have water. We have access to a well here. Good price, nice guy who runs it. So we're able to get everything we need when we need it as far as water goes. As far as power, our situation with power is we're doing all solar. We're doing 6 100-watt solar panels, but the real moxie comes into play when you have the solar batteries. But I'll be showing you guys that in later videos. We'll be getting into that more because that's going to be a big part of what I'm talking about here. Big fan of solar. In Colorado, we get 300 plus days of sun. So it's like, why not utilize it? And I mean, I'm in a situation where as long as that sun comes up, I'm powered up. I'm talking tablets, TVs, internet. So it's homestead, it's off grid, but the power source is so efficient. I have as much as anyone would have in a 2 bedroom apartment. So, I mean, as much power as anyone would have there. That's how much I can power my home as far as plugging things up, charging things. I also have rechargeable lights. So that's another way to sustain yourself. Because where I'm at, you have to pay extra to get installed onto the main power grid. So it's a cost saver and an investment if you are blessed to be able to invest in a power source, and it's long lasting. Once you have it, it's permanent. You're not repurchasing it. I mean, maybe you might want to upgrade, maybe you research more of the material to learn what you could have, but yeah, I mean, to get by from a survival standpoint, and at this point we're thriving. It's enough power to thrive. When I first moved out here, and I'll be posting more on that as well, we only had like 4. We wanted to get more, but there was a mix up with the delivery, and I was trying to get out of my apartment. My lease was up, and everyone knows how that goes when you trying to make that move after that lease is up. You don't have time to hang back, so I had to make a move and get the rest of the panels later. But I have to say there was a big jump from the 4 panels to the 6 panels in power production. But like I mentioned before, the main thing is having those solar batteries. So yeah, we're able to function off that. I also have what's called EcoFlow generators, and that actually really comes in handy in the wintertime, but it's a great supplemental power source. Once again, I charge all this with solar. I have my hard solar panels that power my home. I also have portable solar panels. So as I said before, solar is going to be a big deal here. Another factor of being in Colorado is heat. I mean, sorry, is how heating. You need wood, you need propane. It gets cold here in the winter, especially living off grid. I'm not on a power source where I could just turn on the heat. However, we have propane heaters. I'll be showing that in later videos. We're going to do a detailed dive, but this is just an introductory. Just wanted to get you guys to be introduced to the page. This is your brother, Pro Moat Black. This page and this moniker came out of wanting to promote a pro-black consciousness and Black independence and freedom. But doing that with an understanding of I am an American, I'm a foundational Black American, proud to be so. So we have so many rights as far as expanding from the land. I'm very inspired by the Great Migration. I'm originally from Houston, Texas, born and raised. Uh, Went to college as well down there. So, and then after I graduated, married my beautiful wife, moved out here to Colorado. And so, like I said, I worked out here for quite a while, did a lot of great things out here for the state of Colorado. And eventually, due to the pandemic, I had to change up some things. So that's what, made me circle back to empowerment and getting land and getting serious. That's why I had to pay tribute to my brother, Dr. Claude Anderson, because he showed me that ownership is everything. And by having that ownership, it made me realize I need something permanent to get the bill, the forever bill of rent off my back. I can't stress that enough. It's so empowering to not have to wake up and wonder, what do I have to do? What do I need to do just to get by for the next month? I'm thinking in a seasonal standpoint. I'm thinking in a yearly standpoint. I'm thinking in as far as grow seasons. We're going to be talking about what we're growing here. We got a few trees here. We got some bushes here. We have raspberries, we have elderberries, we have potatoes. We're growing some, but we have a very small window of growth here. I'm in a 5A climate, guys, a 5A climate. So very nutrient dense. That's why we talk about potatoes and sweet potatoes and things of that nature. But yeah, we gotta be real precise about what we're planning, how long we're planning it. We're getting our farmer's almanac out here. So that leads me to, I love staying out here in the country, man. It's beautiful to see the stars at night, man. I mean, you stay out here long enough and you'll understand how they used to make the farmer's almanac. I used to always tell my wife, like, it trips me out how they were able to track things so accurately back then. How were they able to do that? But when you're living out here year after year, you can see how the sun changes, how the sun rises and falls, and where it sets, even based on your surrounding, to where you'll see it change with the seasons. You'll know when the season's coming. It's a pretty interesting thing being a city boy and getting those adjustments. But like I said, I'm just here to inspire and empower others to do the same. I see where things are going, but as a people, it's always been about the people. So sometimes you have to empower yourself, and this is a alternative route, but I would like to think a very efficient route. Once you get things going, it does take some investing, does take some time. I've been out here raising my family, so I've been doing that simultaneously, and it took years for me to really get settled in order to be able to bring it to you in a way that I can display it. So, shout out to all the family and friends who inspired me to do this page, man. I just wanted to, make sure I had something to really show people because, dude, I was out here with nothing but an RV and my family, man. And, we got it figured out. We got it, we got it done. And, there's bumps along the way. There's a lot of things that you learn. But I tell people, man, you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And in doing so, you will learn on the fly. You have to give yourself a chance to let that computer in your mind work, because you will learn things quicker than you would imagine, especially with the research, with the technology. But just as far as experience and comfortability and being comfortable doing things you weren't comfortable doing before. Now, I'm not saying, just jump out a window there. I did a lot of research. I came out here with a plan. Thankfully, I came out here with a partner, my wife. Shout out to her. We'll be married 10 years this year. So, thankful for her. She's been a big help, a major help. So, yeah, man, we're just a, Black family out here getting it done off grid. I hope you enjoyed my introduction, man. You'll be seeing more from me soon. Thank you for your time. Oh, and please like and subscribe. I heard somewhere that it's very helpful to the algorithm.